Hello everyone, this is Fernando Briones in a series of video tutorials which I labeled Blender for Teenagers. Today we are going to modellate a robot like the one that you have here on the screen, and it's going to be very quick, very easy to do. First, as usual, we do click outside the splash screen and we are going directly to the front view by Numpad 1, and make sure here and in this left upper corner we see front ortho, no front perspective. The way to change this is by Numpad 5 again. So now we are going first of all to scale up the cube, which is going to be the body of our robot. In order to do that, key S and drag a little bit the mouse. Now we are going to duplicate this cube. We are going to do such a thing by the combination by the shortcut of Alt D. You see it gets the outline white. We do enter, and now by clicking on the axis we are going to raise this, we are going to move it up, and we're going to scale it down since it's going to be the head of our robot, again by pressing S. I move it down a little bit. Here we are going to get the neck. Now it's time to get some limbs, for instance arms and legs. For that we are going to introduce some cylinders. In order to do that, it's the shortcut Shift A. Okay, and here we're going to select cylinder. As you see, the cylinder apparently is not there, but it's inserted. It's into the body. But how am I able to see such a thing if it is inserted? It is hidden into the cube. Well, by changing our mode of view, or view mode, we are going to press Z, and as you see, we have switch to wireframe mode, Numpad 1 to get again into front view, and now G in order to move free our leg. Okay, so it's pretty obvious that our leg is has a radius, the cylinder has a too wide radius. That's why we are going to Numpad 7, which is top view. We are going to press S and scale down the radius of our leg. Go back to Numpad 1, which is front. And now what we need is to stretch our leg, but vertically. In order to do that, we do again press S, but now followed immediately by the key Z. You see, and this way we will be able to stretch vertically, to scale vertically our leg. Nice. Now we are going to add some knees, which are going to be basically some spheres. Now Shift A again in order to insert a UV sphere. Due to the fact that we are using wireframe, all the elements that we are using are perfectly visible. Now we place what's going to be the knee at the end of the leg and scale it down a little bit so we are able to focus on that. Now I'm going to right view by Numpad 3 to make sure all the elements are in the right place. Now I'm going to take the upper leg, I'm going to duplicate it, Alt D again, and I'm going to move down, which is going to be the under leg. Okay, after these I'm going to select by holding on Shift and right click as usual. I'm going to take the whole leg, and again Alt D is going to allow me to duplicate the whole leg. Nice. Now I'm going to Alt D again I'm going to duplicate again the leg, but in this case by pressing G I'm going to take it into the upper part and I'm going to scale down so we are close to what is going to be an arm. G to move it up, and I'm going to select that sphere which is going to be our elbow and duplicate it again. Okay, enter, go up, move it up and scale it up a little bit in order to get our shoulder. It's going to be the shoulder. So by holding on Shift I select the whole arm, a G, and put it close to the body. Now I'm going to add so to say the claw of the robot, which is going to be half a Terrace. In order to insert a Terrace, again Shift A, and we search for Terrace. Here it's the Terrace. I'm going to move it with the G and I'm going to rotate it around the X axis. So R followed by X, and now I have to insert the number of degrees that I want to rotate it. In this case it's going to be 90 degrees. Nice. Now as you see I'm going to try to attach this Terrace, this donut at the end of the forearm. In order to do that, Numpad 1 again, front view, G, and place it here. What I also need to do is rotate it around the Z-axis 90 degrees, so I have the claw parallel to the legs. In order to do that, R followed by Z and 90 degrees again. That's it, that's nice. And I'm going to scale it up as X, so it is big enough. Nice. Now I go to Numpad 3 so I can see it from side view, and now comes the moment in which I want to cut half of this donut. And in order to do that I need to insert in a new mode, which is edit mode. By now you see we are all the time in what it's called object mode. In order to change into edit mode I click here and go to edit mode. Okay, this way as you see we will be able to select every little vertex, or here I can change even into edge mode. That would be allow us to move edges or even faces, as you see here. Okay, but my intention is to get rid of half of this donut. So in order to do that I press A to unselect everything, and afterwards I'm going to select B, but after getting into vertex selection. Okay, so B is going to allow me to do a box selection. This way I select all those nodes at the same time and I'm going to delete. So that is delete key or X key. As you see, this is going to allow me to get rid, in this case, of all the vertices that I've selected. Nice. Okay, now as you see, if we switch into solid view mode again, right now I have here those both holes at the end of the deleted torus, and I want to fill those gaps again. How can I do that? So as you see, I'm able to select those vertices by clicking Shift. By holding on Shift I can select them here one by one and they keep on being selected. This is one way. As you see, I've selected all those nodes, and now I'm going to press F F is going to allow me, as you see, to fill it all. A quicker way, nevertheless, is by holding Alt the moment I select one of those vertices. I click A to unselect it. I come here to one of the vertices that I want to select. I hold on A, as you see, and as you see, by holding A the moment I select the vertex, I get the whole lot, so to say. I do press F so I can fill that gap, and now I get out of edit mode since I finished editing the Terrace. Okay, so I will be able again to select all those objects. I go to Numpad 1 front view, I zoom out with the wheel, and I'm going to take the whole arm. But look out, in order to be able also to rotate the arm and to lifting a little bit the arm, I will start with the hand, with the claw. I hold on Shift. This is going to be the forearm, the elbow, the arm, and the last thing I'm going to select is the shoulder. Well, in this case, my intention is to get the fulcrum of rotation into the shoulder. In order to do that, I go here, and as you see, it's selected right now median point. I'm going to switch to active element, and look out how the fulcrum has switched to the center of my shoulder. Due to that, I will be able to now hold R key and, as you see, move in a very natural way the whole arm. Okay, nice, but I also want to move the forearm. In order to do that, again, I select first of all the hand, then the forearm, and the last one is going to be the elbow. As you see, the fulcrum of rotation goes directly to the last element selected. Now I switch to Numpad 3. Okay, I switch to wireframe mode and R in order to rotate a little bit my forearm. Okay, this way it gets a little bit more natural, more formal, more informal. So now Numpad 1. In fact, I'm going to rotate it a little bit to the inside, such a thing like this. Z in order to again get into wireframe mode. Let me see. Possibly I'm going to change the direction again into here. Nice, perfect. Now I'm going to select the whole arm, including the shoulder. Alt D, as usual. In order to duplicate it, I move it to the other side. R, look out, the fulcrum is already on the shoulder, since it was the shoulder, the last element I selected. This allows me to move the arm like this. Okay, we're almost done. At least in order, in terms of doing the body. I'm going to now select one of the legs, Alt D again. Why is that? Because I'm going to need this in order to place it as a neck. I go to wireframe mode again, and I'm going to scale it down vertically. S followed by Z, and as you see, I stretch it a little bit to the inside. Here is going to be my neck. I go Numpad 7 to see it from the top. Nice, it's centered. Numpad 1 again. Now, what I'm going to add is a couple of face elements, like some eyes. Eyes would be nice to have. I could add some cylinders, but also some spheres. In fact, I think I'm going to add all of them. Spheres as eyes, and a rotated cylinder as a kind of nose. Let's see what comes out from here. So I go to Numpad 3. So I am now in side view, and Shift A, and I'm going to insert some spheres like those. Now, you know what? I'm going to delete that sphere. I get rid of that. I'm going to use one of the spheres I already have. I'm going to duplicate it, Alt D, G in order to move it, and I'm going to put it close to the face. Those are possibly too big eyes, so I scale it down like this. I switch to Numpad 1. I realize the eye is not what it should be. I duplicate it again, Alt D, and put it to the other side. Nice. Now it's time to get some nose. I'm going to take this cylinder, Alt D. I go to Numpad 1, front view. I move it to the top, and I'm going to rotate it, Numpad 3, R, and let's get it as vertical as possible, as horizontal in this case. And this is going to be the nose of my robot. Numpad 1 again. It's a little bit too big. I'm going to scale it down like such. Z, solid view. Okay, let's start getting, well, good enough. Okay, now we get some feet. Okay, in order to do that, I go to Numpad 3. I select the head, Alt D to duplicate it. Go down, Numpad 1, front view. I place it here, and I'm going to scale it down vertically as Z, first of all. As X, I'm going to scale it in terms of width, and I'm going to place it as close as possible to the leg. Numpad 3, side view again. Nice. And of course I need to duplicate it, Alt D, in order to place it in the attach it to the other leg. So far so good. I'm going to possibly go to Numpad 3, scale down a little bit the body in terms of depth, S followed by Y. Okay, nice. Numpad 1, and scale it up a little bit in terms of width, X, S followed by X, and S followed by Z. Nice. Okay. That will be good enough. So now comes the moment in which we are going to start rendering. So in order to be able to see what we are going to have in our camera, we need to be able to see what the camera sees. And that's by pressing Numpad 0. You're going to see it changes. We have here this rectangle. This rectangle is exactly what we are going to photograph, so to say. By pressing F12, you see we get a kind of photograph. As you see, the light is not in its right place, and we are not able to frame the whole robot. In order to exit this photograph, we need to escape, and we are going to move the camera. In order to do that, we press N. We have this menu here, and we scroll up so we get into the view menu. Into this view menu, we check lock camera to view. As you see, by checking and unchecking, it changes the color of the outline. When it is a red dot line, we will be able to move the camera in a very natural way. So this way we will be able, as you see, to focus the camera the way we want. Okay, I'm going to uncheck. Once I am satisfied with the position of the camera, I uncheck lock camera to view. Now I need to add several details. in order to get the best picture possible. First of all, I'm going to Numpad 1 because I'm going to add a plane for the ground. I go to wireframe mode, S, in order to do that. You see here the plane bigger and bigger, as Z again, so it's pretty clear the ground is not what it should be attached to the feet of my robot. I'm going to scale it up a lot. Now it's the moment in which we are going to start playing with the light. Here, this point here is the light. Right now, in order to be able to edit the light, we need to go to here, to this ribbon here, once we have selected the light. As you see right now, the light is in a point mode. That is, it's a point which is radiating light, it's emitting light, and we are going to change the point mode to sun mode. Immediately, as you see, we have here this ray, which is going to allow us to also move and rotate it. It's going to be the direction of our sunlight. So if we do R, as you see, we are going to be able to change the direction. I switch into right view, side view, and I wish to have the lights coming from up to down, so it enlightens our face. So I do R again, change the direction. Nice. So I'm going to do F12 in order to do a render, or you can also do it here in this camera ribbon by clicking on the render button. Well, this is pretty much better than it was before. So in order to make sure you have this shadow here, this projected shadow, I do escape, key escape, in order to get rid from here. I get into the light ribbon. You make sure you have here in the shadow menu selected ray shadow. Otherwise, it's not going to emit shadows at all. We also are going to check sky here, and it's going to allow us, here you see a beautiful gradient which is very close to the way skies are looking, and even atmosphere, which is going to allow us, as you see, to get a little bit of turbidity here close to the horizon line. Now we're going to add some materials, as the colors right now of the robot are pretty boring. So I do ESC Numpad 1. I'm going to select the cube, and I'm going to show you the material ribbon. The material ribbon is here, this kind of sphere, this circle, and is going to allow me, first of all, to change the color. The color is nice. I'm going to use some kind of gray, and I'm going to make it a little bit mirroring. As you see, here is the preview of the parameters I'm going to change. Now, I do not need some transparency, neither change the shading, but I want it a little bit mirroring. As you see, once I check mirror, I'm going to add a little bit of reflection. Look at the preview. As you see, we get a little bit of glossy reflection. Oh, that's nice. So I'm going to make sure this material is the glossy one. I'm going to change, in fact, the name glossy gray, for instance. Nice. Okay. And since most of the cubes that I've been using are duplications, clones of the initial ones, which is the body, as you see, the body also shares this material. It doesn't happen the same with spheres. Okay, in spheres, and I'm going to add a new material, this material is going to be darker. Clearly, you see here it changes the color immediately. All the spheres change, and as I did before, I'm going to apply a little bit of reflectivity here. It's going to give us a little bit of metal feeling. I'm going to change also the cylinders. In this case, I'm going to be so lazy that I'm going to directly select here the glossy gray that was applied to the cubes, and I'm going to change also the hands and apply directly the dark material which I've used for the eyes, for the spheres. I'm going to select the nose. Also, it's going to be the dark material. Oh, as you see, it changed directly all the remaining cylinders. That's no good. So I stick to the gray one. And finally, I'm going to change the feet. No, I'm not going to change them. I'm going to leave them the way they are. So finally, I'm going to also change the material of the ground and make sure it's the glossy gray so it reflects a little bit also. Now finally, let's make a render, and well, this is the result. It's not bad at all. In fact, it's pretty good for a first attempt. In order to save the work, remember, you go to File, Save As. I'm going to name it Robot. In this case, it's Robot Practice 3, in my case. And you save it here on the right upper button. And I'm going not just only to save the blend file, but also the picture itself. There are different elements. I can save the render as an image, as a photograph. Look out, save as an image. I'm going to select it here, the name. It's going to be Robot 3. Okay, save as image. And that's going to allow me, you see, to let me see, where did I have it? Robot 3. You see, it's a picture. Okay, it's basically the picture. Nice. So, and that's pretty much it. Okay, see you on the next video tutorial. Bye.